emergency exit straight back that way, and then the way that you came in through the front entrance of the lobby. And I just want to take this moment to send out a couple of quick personal thank yous. These are people I would like to thank personally for the efforts that they contributed to the success of this production. They deserve a lot more than just their name at the end of the program. First of all, Mrs. O'Donnell and all the parents who helped with things and coordinating. Players for their support of this play, with donating some of their props. It was very generous of them. The former director of the Chelsea Players, Mrs. Megan Buckner, assisted me in casting and in some of the rehearsals, and her input was absolutely invaluable. So I'm very grateful to her. Also, I would also like to. Some of you may notice, if you looked at the front page of the program, that this play is an original adaptation of P.G. Wodehouse's novel. I'd like to thank two people who helped me through that process. Well, three people, really. First of all, James Tillman, who was a review editor, and Dominic Vieira, who sat down with me and read through the thing from start to finish and discussed, is this a good line, is that a good line? And consequently, I had to go back and act like a quarter of what I had in it. So I know he's here because I recognize that laugh. You are permitted to feel embarrassed. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Matias and her daughter Elizabeth, Mrs. Matias is running the box office, and Elizabeth is up there with the lights crew. But in addition to that, they have done a lot of work behind the scenes that even the stage crew don't know about. And I just wanted to give them my personal thank you and let them know it was really good. In addition, I'd also like to thank Mrs. Riccio, who volunteered to help out with hair and makeup. There's one character who, you'll see, they had to do a lot of work with her hair, and it would not have happened to the level of quality that we have if it wasn't for Mrs. Riccio. So we thank her very much. Very huge thank you from me personally to these two men, without whom we would have no set. Mr. Guy Bauer, one of the faculty here at Chelsea, and one of the parents of the actresses, Mr. Stephen Pilon, who I see.
Bravo, bravo. I don't feel embarrassed at all.
And lastly, I'd like to give a good front royal welcome to someone who I haven't seen in a number of years. Father O'Kilty, who's right there.
Hey, that's good.
Former chaplain at Christendom College and a longtime patron of the arts here in Front Royal. It is very good to see him. And I'll be getting your punches later. That's fine. Thank you all. I won't hog the spotlight anymore. Good heavens, I'm sure you're tired of me enough already. The actors are back there rip-roaring to go. They're ready to get this last one on the road. So please, sit back, relax, and enjoy Right Ho Jeeves. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Jeeves.
I trust your errand concluded satisfactorily, sir.
What? Oh, yes, I've got the thing right here. Would have been dashed hard to find if it hadn't been for you.
London is full of surprises if one knows where to look, sir.
Dash London all surprises, Jeeves. I wish I'd never come within 100 miles of this stinking place.
Yes, sir.
Well, I suppose I'd better go change, what?
Just what I was about to suggest, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, Jeeves.
Ash, good to see you again.
Good of you to say so, sir.
I say, Jeeves, could you prepare a little something to pour over the old larynx? This continental foray has left me distinctly parched. I fear the sea air will make ancient mariners of us all, Jeeves.
Very good, sir.
Well, here we all are, what?
Yes, sir. Did you enjoy Cannes, sir?
I did, Jeeves. And except for the fact that my Aunt Delia lost her shirt at Baccarat, and my cousin Angela nearly got impaled by a shark while aquaplaning, a pleasant time was had by all. It seems ages since I went away.
Yes, sir. 2 months is a generous vacation allotment. Even the south of France cannot hurry the inexorable passage of time.
Quite. I say, have a good time at Ascot.
Most agreeable, sir.
Win anything?
Quite a satisfactory sum, thank you, sir.
Well, Jeeves, what news in Rialto? Anyone been phoning or calling or anything during my abs?
Mrs. Gregson phoned yesterday, sir.
Oh, Declan. I say, that's ominous. What did she want?
I really couldn't say, sir. She neglected to confide in me.
Darker and darker, Jeeves. When Aunt Agatha's on the warpath, it is high time for all good nephews to find some out-of-town Johnny desperately in need of aid.
Very good, sir.
Any other communiques?
There's a telegram for you, sir, on the table.
Ah, good old Aunt Delia. Do you know why I like Aunt Delia, Jeeves?
No, indeed, sir.
It's because she is not Aunt Agatha.
Very true, sir.
Aunt Delia is a cheery and pleasant soul to converse with. A bit brash perhaps at times, but only when her hunting days return to her memory. On the whole, she's a good egg. Aunt Agatha, on the other hand, chews broken bottles and is strongly suspected of turning into a werewolf at the time of the full moon.
Quite so, sir.
Comment once, travels. How odd?
Odd, sir.
Take a telegram, Jeeves. Perplexed. Explain, Bertie. Send that off as soon as you like.
Please be so good as to send a messenger up to Mr. Worcester's flat. Thank you.
Well, Jeeves, anything else?
Mr. Finknottle, sir, has been a frequent caller.
Gussie Finknottle?
Yes, sir.
You don't mean he's in London?
Yes, sir.
I'm blue. Must be 5 years since Gussie was last in London. It's only now he's always stayed cooped up in his home in Lincolnshire, completely surrounded by newts.
Sir?
Newts, Jeeves. You must have heard of newts. Those sort of lizard things that dash about in ponds.
Oh, yes. The aquatic members of the family Salamandrae, which constitute the genus Mulgae.
Quite, yes, that's the chaps. Well, Gussie has always been a slave to them. He used to keep them at school. I believe he must have told himself that he could either take them or leave them alone, and then found too late that he couldn't.
It is often the way, sir.
Too true. Well, at any rate, he's always stayed cooped up in his home in Lincolnshire, has confirmed a species-shunning hermit has ever put fresh water into the tank every second day, and refused to see a soul. I wonder what could have brought him up to London.
I am in a position to explain that, sir. Mr. Finknottle confided to me his motive for visiting the metropolis. He is here because of the young lady.
Young lady?
Yes, sir.
You don't mean he's in love?
Yes, sir.
I'm dashed. I'm really dashed. I'm positively dashed.
Quite so, sir.
Tell me, Jeeves, what sort of girl is this girl of Gussie's?
I have not yet met the young lady, sir. Mr. Finknottle speaks highly of her attractions. She is a Miss Bassett, sir. A Miss Madeline Bassett.
Egad, Jeeves. Fancy that. It's a small world, isn't it?
The young lady is an acquaintance of yours, sir.
I know her well. I saw quite a lot of her at Cannes. Indeed, in my moodier moments, it seemed to me that I couldn't move a step without stubbing my toe on the woman.
Most distressing, sir.
And yet, Jeeves, before you supplied this information, I was feeling profoundly dubious about Gussie's chances of inducing any spinster of any parish to join him in the saunter down the aisle. You will agree with me that Gussie is not everyone's money.
There may be something in what you say, sir.
However, Gussie is just the sort of chap that a girl like Madeline Bassett might scoop in with relish. I don't want to wrong anyone, so I won't go so far as to say that she actually writes poetry. But when a girl asks you out of the blue whether you don't think that the stars are God's daisy chain, you begin to think of it.
Quite so, sir.
Yes, I see no reason if Gussie could be somehow be induced to get the low burning words off his chest, why he and the Bassett shouldn't hit it off like ham and eggs. Strain every nerve, Jeeves.
Very good, sir. I very much fear, sir, that you have inadvertently left Cannes in the possession of a coat belonging to some other gentleman.
No, Jeeves, the object under advisement is mine. I bought it out there.
You wore it, sir.
Every night.
Surely you're not proposing to wear it in England.
Yes, Jeeves.
But, sir,
Yes, Jeeves.
it it is most unsuitable.
I do not agree with you, Jeeves. I confidently expect a great popular success for this jacket. It is my intention to spring it on the public at Pongo Tristleton's birthday party tonight, where I anticipate it to be one long scream from start to finish. No argument, Jeeves. One of the fantastic objections you may have taken to this jacket, I wear it.
Very good, sir.
I say, Jeeves, what's that?
I believe it is the door handle, sir.
Someone at the door? Why don't they ring?
Not the front door, sir. I fancy it is coming from the guest bedroom.
You mean to say someone's been using the guest bedroom?
Only temporarily, sir. I fancy he's finished with it now.
Oh, no! No, not me! I'm like a line.
Hello, Bertie. I didn't hear you come in.
Is that you, Gussie?
Yes, Bertie, it's me.
What's the meaning of all this? Rattling a chap's door handle like that and barging in here dressed like that.
Well, I'm sorry for startling you, Bertie. See, I locked myself in and I couldn't get out.
That explains you charging in here dressed like Mephistopheles, but what on earth are you doing here?
Jeeves let me use your guest room to change. What do you think?
Make the horns a little longer and you'd look the real thing. My heart skipped several beats just now.
Well, you see, it was Jeeves' idea that I attend this fancy dress ball.
You went to fancy dress ball, but I thought you hated that sort of thing.
Well, Bertie, I do, but, well, she.
Ah, Gussie, I know all about Madeline. A charming girl and just the type for you. Where did you two meet?
Well, she was staying at a place near mine in Lincolnshire the week before last.
I didn't know you called them the neighbours.
Oh, well, I don't. You see, she was out on a walk with her dog, and, well, the dog got a thorn in its foot, and when she tried to take it out, it snapped at her. So, naturally, I had to rally round.
You extracted the thorn?
Yes.
And fell in love at first sight?
Yes.
Dash it all with a thing like that to give you a send-off? Why didn't you cash in immediately?
Oh, I hadn't the nerve.
Well, we must see what can be done. You'll be glad to hear, Gussie, that you have Bertram and Wooster in your corner.
Oh, well, thank you, Bertie, and Jeeves, too, of course. That's what really matters.
And what is Jeeves doing about all this?
Well, he was the one who got me to go to the ball in the first place.
Why?
Well, because she's going to be there, Bertie. She herself gave me the ticket of invitation, and Jeeves is a great believer in the moral effect of clothes. You see, he thinks in a striking costume like this, I might be emboldened. Well, he also thought a pirate chief might work, but I objected to the boots.
And to be frank, Gussie, old man, are you emboldened?
Well, to be absolutely accurate, Bertie old bean. No.
Gussie, take an old friend's advice and don't go within a mile of this bee.
But Bertie, I have to. It's my last chance to see her. You see, tomorrow she's off to stay with some people in the country. And, oh, besides, you don't know.
Don't know what?
Well, you don't know that this idea of Jeeves won't work. I mean, fundamentally, Jeeves' idea is sound. In a striking costume like Mephistopheles, I might pretty well be able to pull off something fairly spectacular. I mean, colour helps a lot. Look at newts. During the courting season, the male newt is brilliantly coloured. It gives him a lot of help.
But you aren't a male newt.
Well, you wouldn't find me grousing if I was a male newt, but...
But if you were a male newt, Madeline Bassett wouldn't look at you. Not the eye of love, I mean.
Well, she would if she were a female newt.
But she's not a female.
No, she won't.
Then you wouldn't be in love with her.
But I would if I were a male newt.
Anyway, cutting out all this visionary stuff about newts and whatnot, and coming down to hard facts, the salient thing that emerges is that you are booked to appear at a fancy dress ball. And I tell you, Gussie, out of my ripe knowledge of fancy dress balls, that you will not enjoy yourself.
But Bertie, it's not a question of enjoying myself. I told you before, it's my last chance to see her, because tomorrow she's off, so I must go to her.
Well, have it your own way.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Jeeves?
Mr. Finkenottel's cab.
Ah, your cab, Gussie.
Oh, cab. Cab, right. Okay, thank you, Bertie. Thank you, Jeeves, and... right.
Jeeves, may I speak frankly?
Certainly, sir.
What I have to say may wound you.
Not at all, sir.
It's with reference to this Mephistopheles scheme you cooked up for Gussie.
Sir?
I consider that of all the dash silly, drivelling schemes I ever heard in my puff, this is the most blithering and futile. fact, I have frequently noticed on your part a tendency to become... What's the word?
I could not say so.
Eloquent? No, it's not eloquent. Elusive? No, it's not elusive. Begins with an E and means a jolly sight too clever.
Elaborate, sir.
Elaborate! That's what you are frequently prone to become. You cloud the issue with a bunch of fancy stuff that is not of the essence. All Gussie needs is some seasoned advice from a man of the world. Which is why, Jeeves, I suggest to you that you leave this case to me.
Very good, sir.
You toddle off and devote yourself to your duties about the home.
Very good, sir.
What's this, more masquerading?
I should think not, sir.
If it's my Aunt Agatha, I'm still at Cannes.
Another telegram for you, sir. From Mrs. Travers.
Another? That was quick work. What does this one say?
It says, "What is there to be perplexed about, you maddening half-wit? What do you think I meant? Come at once, or expect an aunt's curse first to coast tomorrow. Love, Travers."
Rum, Jeeves.
Indeed, sir.
What do you make of it?
I think that Mrs. Travers wishes you to come at once, sir.
Actually, I put the same instruction on it. But why, Jeeves? She's just had nearly 2 months of it.
Yes, sir.
And many people consider the medium dose for an adult 2 days.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the point you raised, sir. Nevertheless, Mrs. Travers appears very persistent. I think it would be well to acquiesce in her wishes.
Well, I certainly can't go down there tonight. I have an important conference at the Drones. Holgo Truslin's birthday party, if you remember.
Yes, sir.
Jeeves, you're all wrong about that mess jacket.
These are matters of opinion, sir.
I am convinced that you will learn to love the mess jacket, Jeeves.
I fear not, sir.
Well, at any rate, to return to the main, I can't go down to Brinkley or anywhere else yet a while. I'll wire her, expect me tomorrow fortnight, or some such rot that ought to meet the case. That should all shelter be able to hold out without me for a couple of days, and only requires some willpower.
Very good, sir.
Right here.
No, sir, it is Mrs. Travers.
Get up, Bertie, you somnambulant donkey. Get up and dress.
Get up and dress.
Yes, I've got a job for you. You're coming back to Brinkley with me.
What do you mean a job? What sort of job? Why a job? I don't want a job.
What you want and what you are going to get are two very different things. Have you ever heard of the Market Snodsbury Grammar School?
No.
It's a grammar school in Market Snodsbury.
I divined as much.
Well, how was I supposed to know that a man with a mind like yours would have guessed it so quickly? The Board of governess for the Market Snodsburg Grammar School has entrusted the arrangements of a prize giving to me. This prize giving takes place on the 31st day of this month, so I shall expect you at Brinkley Court on the 30th at the latest. Is that clear?
Yes, I follow you. Quite. But National, what does this have to do with me?
You're going to give away the prizes.
Me?
You.
You're pulling my leg.
Bertie, nothing would induce me to touch your beastly leg.
You think for 1 second that I'm going to strew prizes at this Valley Dubois Hall, you air.
What?
I said you air. Briggs, I won't do it.
You will, or never darken my doors again. And you know what that means. No more of Anatole's cooking for you.
No, I say, dash it!
I thought that would rattle you. Greedy young pig.
I'm not a greedy young pig. Greedy young pigs have nothing to do with it. One is not a greedy young pig if one appreciates the cooking of Jeeves.
Well, I like it myself. But not another bite, not another sniff do you get if you refuse this simple, easy, pleasant job. So put that in your 12-inch cigarette holder and smoke it.
Delia, why do you want me? I'm not the type. You need some terrific nib to give away the prizes. I remember when I was at school, it was generally some prime minister or something.
Well, that was at Eton. At Market Snodsbury, we're not nearly so choosy. Anybody in spats impresses us.
Why don't you get Uncle Tom? He's got spats.
Bertie, do you remember all that money that I lost at Baccarat in Cannes? Very shortly, I shall have to tell Tom about it. If, after that, I ask him to put on lavender gloves and a topper and distribute prizes at a grammar school, there'll be a divorce in the family. No, my lad, you're in for it, and you better make the best of it.
Damn it, National, Delia, you don't want me. I'm hopeless at that sort of game. Ask Jeeves about the time I got lugged into a dress of girls' score. I made the most colossal fool of myself.
I already did ask Jeeves. The way I look at it, the thing's bound to be a frost, so it might as well get a hearty laugh out of it. I shall see you in a day or two. I look forward to the 31st.
Mr. Fink Novel to see you, sir.
Jeeves, is this the time for think or any other kind of novel?
But did you not give me to understand, sir, that you wish to see Mr. Fink Novel to advise him of his affairs?
True. Bunk him in. But first bring me one of those pick-me-ups of yours.
Very good, sir.
These are necessary after nights like Pongo Twisterton's birthday party. Thank you, Jeeves.
Not at all.
I am now able to cope with life's problems.
I'm gratified to hear it, sir.
But madness not to have had one of those before tackling Delia. Anyhow, tell me of Gussie. How did he make out at the fancy dress ball?
He did not arrive at the fancy dress ball, sir.
Jeeves does stand by my sickbed talking wrong. We shot him into a cab headed for wherever this fancy dress ball was. He must have arrived.
No, sir. As I gather from Mr. Fink Novel, he entered the cab, convinced in his mind that the entertainment to which he had been invited was to be held at number 17, Suffolk Square, whereas the actual rendezvous was to be held at number 71, Norfolk Terrace. These aberrations of memory are not uncommon to those who, like Mr. Fink Novel, belong essentially to what one might call the dreamer type.
One might also call it the fat-headed type.
Yes, continue on. On reaching number 17, Suffolk Square, Mr. McDonald discovered that he had left all of his money, along with his ticket of invitation, on the mantelpiece of the bedchamber in the house of his uncle where he was residing.
What did he do?
Mr. McDonald realized that his position as in regard to the cabin had become equivocal. The figures on the clock had reached a substantial sum, and Mr. Finknottle was not in a position to meet his obligations.
You could have explained.
He could not explain the cabin, sir. On endeavoring to do so, he found the fellow skeptical of his bona fides.
I should have legged it.
That is the policy which appears to have commended itself to Mr. Finknottle. He darted rapidly away, and the cabman, endeavoring to detain him, snapped wildly at his overcoat. Mr. Finknottle extricated himself from the overcoat, but it seems that his appearance in the masquerade costume beneath it came as something of a shock to the cabman. Mr. Finknottle informs me that he heard a species of whistling gasp, and turning round, observed the fellow leaning against the railings with his hands over his face. Mr. Finknottle thinks the man was praying.
That, Jeeves.
Yes, sir.
I suppose you see this is all your fault?
Sir?
It's no good saying sir, you know it is. It was you who insisted on Gussie going to this fancy dress ball in the first place.
I confess that I did not anticipate.
Always anticipate everything, Jeeves. It is the only way.
Very good, sir.
Gussie waits without you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Well, then shoot him in and I will see what I can do.
Very good, sir.
What ho, Gussie?
Oh, what ho, Bertie?
I hear you've been through it a bit.
Yes.
Thanks to Jeeves.
Oh, I don't see that. I mean, I was the one who forgot my money and where I was going,
And
and
now you'd better forget Jeeves. You'll be interested to hear, Gussie Finknottle, that Jeeves will no longer be handling your little pawn.
Wait, but you don't mean that Jeeves isn't...
No, Jeeves is off the case.
But then...
Surely your last night's experience will have taught you that Jeeves has lost his grip completely? Even the keenest of thinkers strikes a bad patch occasionally. That's what has happened to Jeeves. He wants his clubs decarbonized. So that this comes as a shock to you. I suppose you came here this morning to seek his advice?
Well, yes, he was the one who got me to go to the ball in the first place, and now that Madeline's gone, I came here to see what he thinks I shall do.
Well, as I say, Jeeves is off the case.
Oh, but Bertie Dasher, come
No,
on.
Jeeves is off the case. I am now in sole charge.
Oh, what can you do?
That we shall see. I'm bound to say the thing seems pretty simple to me. You say the girl has gone to visit with friends in the country? But it would appear simple that you go there too and cluster around it like a poof adventure.
Oh, Bertie, no, I can't find myself in a lot of perfect strangers. No.
You mean you don't know these people?
No, Bertie, I don't know anyone. Well, all I know is their name is Travers, and they live at some place called Brinkley Court up in Worcestershire.
Gussie, I think Bottle, it was a lucky day for you when Bertram Wooster first interested himself in your affairs. This afternoon you shall go to Brinkley Court, an honoured guest.
But, Bertie, you don't mean to say that you know these Traverses?
They are my Aunt Dahlia.
Oh my gosh.
You see how lucky you were to get me behind you in this enterprise? Could Jeeves have gotten you into Brinkley Court? Not a chance. Aunt Dahlia isn't his aunt.
You ring, sir?
I did, Jeeves. Be so good as to bring a pen and paper.
Very good, sir.
Well, Bertie, I really don't know how to thank you.
Don't mention it, old man.
What?
Now what?
Well, what am I supposed to do when I get there?
If you knew Brinkley Court, you would not ask that question. In those romantic surroundings you simply can't miss. The place is simply filled with atmosphere. You will stroll with the girl on the shady walks, you will sit with her on the shady lawns, you will row with her on the lake, and gradually you'll find yourself working up to a
I
point where...
see, sort of build up to it, as it were.
Exactly. I've gotten engaged 3 times at Brinkley. No business resulted, but the fact remains. And I went there with the foggiest intention of indulging in the tender cash. Must be something in the air.
Well, Bertie, I mean, that is exactly what I want to be able to do. Oh, what a nice lot of luck, this Travers woman turning out to be your aunt.
I don't know what you mean, turning out to be my aunt. She's been my aunt all along. Yeah, push that into the nearest post office, and my Aunt Dahlia will find a waiting with her on her return.
All right. Thank you, Bertie. Thank you.
Gussie, one word of warning. As you shall no doubt be in... Jeeves, what's the word when 2 people of opposite sexes are bunged together in close association, meeting each other every day and seeing a lot of each other?
Propinquity, sir.
Propinquity, thank you, Jeeves. Gussie, as you shall no doubt be in propinquity to Madeline, you must create in this girl's mind the impression that you are pining away for the love of her.
How do I do that?
Ask yourself this, Gussie. If you are a man trying to impress on the girl of his dreams the fact that he is desperately in love with her, do you stuff yourself with sausages? Stuff yourself with sausages. Help yourself to the hand. Ladle out the lard. Pile on the pork.
Bertie, are you telling me to lay off meat?
Not just meat, food. It's the best way to show Madeline that you're pining away for love of her.
You know, Bertie, you may be right. You see, newts do this
Oh,
sometimes.
good, quite. You'll do it then?
I will.
Nay.
Right, well, I'd best be off. Thank you, Jeeves. Thank you, Bertie.
You see, Jeeves, nothing strained or bizarre, nothing elaborate, simply nature's remedy.
Yes, sir.
As of now, Gussie is but a mere jelly in the presence. But ask yourself how you will feel after a week or two when propinquity has had a chance to nip in and slip it amongst them.
It seems the most promising situation, sir. Good afternoon, Mrs. Gregson.
Good afternoon. Is my nephew in?
I regret to say that Mr. Worcester has not yet returned from his vacation in the south of France.
Indeed. How frightful. Jeeves, it is young men like my nephew that make the person with the future of the race at heart despair.
Most distressing, madam.
He is a vapid, irreflective nitwit, what years ago had been put into some good mental home, cursed with too much money. He fritters away in idleness, selfishness, a life which might otherwise have been made useful, helpful, and profitable. He is an antisocial animal, a drone. He must marry.
Indeed, madam.
I am convinced that it is the only way to raise him up from the depths that he currently inhabits. And I have found the perfect girl for the job. Strong, sensible, self-reliant, to counterbalance the deficiencies and weaknesses of his character.
May I inquire as to who, madam?
Lady Florence Cray. She... Well, as I was saying, Lady Florence Cray will mold young Bertie into a good, strong man.
A most pleasant thought, madam.
Certainly. Bertie must be brought to see that he needs Lady Florence by his side. Please inform him that I wish to speak to him as soon as he returns.
Very good, madam. That was Mrs. Gregson's son.
I heard Jeeves, hence the packing.
Remember what the poet Shakespeare said, Jeeves? I could not say so.
Exit hurriedly, pursued by a bear.
I know his plays, if you will allow me, sir.
Quite, have it your own way.
I'll get it.
Hello?
Is that you, Bertie?
In the flesh?
Did you just send me a telegram?
I did. Did you get it?
Yes, of course I did. That's why I'm phoning, nitwit. What do you mean by planting our loathsome friends on me like this? I'm taking legal advice as to whether strangling an idiot nephew counts as murder. If it doesn't, you'd better look out for yourself. Who is this spink bottle?
Not bottle, not.
I like our nerve using my house as a hotel resort. I shall have much to say to you on the subject when you come down. Don't forget your spats.
Terribly sorry on flesh and blood, but on consulting my engagement book, I find it impossible to come down to Brinkley. I deeply regret.
Oh, so that's what it's like, is it? Deeply regret my foot. Let me tell you, my lad, you'll regret it a jolly sight more deeply if you don't come down and distribute those prizes. I deeply regret that Brinkley Court is 30 miles from London, as I am unable to hit you with a brick.
No, but dash it on Dilly, you really don't want me. Get Augustus Fignoff to do it. He's a born distributor who'll do you credit. I confidently anticipate the